Okay, Matt. Well, we're back and we are officially in the full swing of the NBA playoffs. Play-ins are done. All the game ones have now been played. So just to backtrack really quick to the play-in, what do we go? I think I got three
I
out
think
of
you
the
won that
four.
one.
Yeah, I think I got three out of the four correct. Um, but I think none of us had Miami though, right? I think we both
We
had
had
Atlanta
Atlanta.
and Orlando, I think. But
Yeah, technically we didn't get any right because didn't we both say Atlanta was gonna win the 7th seed? So
yeah.
technically Orlando was the eight in our prediction, but
Yeah,
they're
well,
in the play-in
they're
or they
in,
won the
so
play-in. So
I'm gonna count it. Um, but yeah, not real pretty there. Um, but I didn't expect Atlanta to lose like twice. So, um,
but let's be real, they probably weren't gonna make noise against the Cavs, even if they got the 8th seed. So
yeah.
yeah.
But and then on the other side, I know I got the Mavs. I picked AD in the one game. Sacramento, that's a whole other thing for later. Who knows what they're going to do? They're kind of in a terrible position. And then obviously Golden State, we both had that one. Um, so yeah. Then on to the playoffs, round one. There were a lot of blowouts in that game one across the board, actually. Not a lot of real close games that you kind of expected from the playoffs, but we'll get into all of them, but we will go in order, and we always start the show with the Lakers. And yeah,
A
not
shocker.
a great start for the Lake Show. You could that might be an understatement, actually. But yeah, man, I was out for the first half of the game. I mean, realistically, you just need to watch the second half of playoff games because nowadays, right, like you have a 20-point lead going into the half, and that's gonna be erased immediately, right? So, um, yeah, I think it was just like weirdly, it felt like they weren't ready for a playoff game. Like, not that they weren't ready, but like the energy, maybe, or intensity seemed a little like lax. Weird because JJ Redick is our coach, right? And he's so hyper aware, right? We talk, he's such a cerebral guy, like a cerebral guy. He understands what he needs to do to get his guys ready. And like they came out flat. Like just I mean Luca had it going in the first. So everyone maybe I don't know if that's like okay, we don't need to worry, like Luca got this kind of thing. And then boom, the second quarter, they just like bounce right back Minnesota and just smack the Lakers right in the face and pretty much couldn't make up the ground from I would say that second quarter and then that I think they had like a 11-0 or something run to start the third. And
Hmm.
then it was like we're down almost 30 points in the third and it's like okay, well 20-point lead is one thing and almost 30-point lead is a completely different story, right? So yeah, just some takeaways from that game one. Obviously, number one, first and foremost, I think the effort level, like I said, has to be upped from the tip, right? You could kind of see that in the second half, we're more active, more physical. The intensity was upped, but in the playoffs, like that's the thing. Braun knows, JJ knows, like these are veteran guys. This group has been together, right, for the most part. Not their first trip to the playoffs either. So not really just a weird energy game one. I'm not really sure what was going on there, but um yeah, that's got to be the first thing. Second thing is, a little bit I think of that perimeter defense forcing a little bit more contested shots. from the Timberwolves because I mean they were torching us. I think they hit like 19 or 23s. So
Yeah, they
obviously
set a
that's
franchise record 21 threes. They shot 50% from the 3-point
yeah,
line. You're
and
going to lose no
you're
matter who
gonna
you're
lose.
playing.
Yeah, exactly. And like defensively has to be better. I think JJ is gonna kind of figure out rotations a little bit from that game one, see how the Wolves like to play and use guys accordingly. So yeah, not overreacting, but obviously the defense has to get better. And third, I think was just the ball movement. There was like a lack of ball movement. I think offensively, the ball was really sticking. Obviously Luca had it going in that first half, but looking across the board, like 3 assists from LeBron, 3 assists from Austin Reeves, and 1 assist from Luca. Like that's almost unheard of for guys like LeBron, AR, and Luca, especially Luca to only have 1 assist is kind of outrageous, right? Like he is definitely the main facilitator. So, um, yeah, I mean, gonna need other guys to step up, obviously, right? We need our role players to step up, hit big shots when they can. But yeah, I just felt like the offense was a little sluggish and like I don't know, just a weird energy for a game one of a playoffs at home that we've been waiting for so long. And I mean, this is kind of a little ticky tack thing, but like, I feel like the Lakers home crowd kind of sucks, to be honest. Like,
Oh, they were
just
pretty
watching it
dead.
from TV, yeah, like, you
Even from the
know,
tip.
yeah, we kind of get that it's LA, right? And it's everyone it's more of a show, right, for these celebrities to like go out and be seen, and it's a whole, oh yeah, I'm going to the Lakers game, and obviously they're gonna cheer when the Lakers do well, but when you really need your fans to get you back in, you know, get back some of the energy, it's like it's kind of lacking, and it's disappointing, but expected, I would say, for a Lakers crowd. Um, but I mean, I would have just hoped for a little bit more like buzz, right? Like you see the Thunder crowds, right? That get so crazy. Boston, right? Teams like that where you can tell everyone's there to like cheer on the home team and like make it a home court advantage, right? Um, like even Madison Square Garden, like the Mecca isn't as like like I don't want to say like fake, but like because everyone's gonna all the celebrities want to go in New York too, right? But you can tell they're there to watch basketball. Like it's a basketball thing first. Whereas the Lakers sometimes it just feels like it's an event first, right? And then a basketball is a game second. You know what I mean? So it's I mean it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation. Hopefully something, they're a little bit more active, or you know what, those boys just got to do it without the best crowd. Like, they got to get things going for the crowd to get in it. So, yeah, that was just kind of my initial takeaways, Matt. I will say though, like, as great as Minnesota played, right, all around, Nas Reed had a huge game. McDaniels, Ant caught fire late. Even Julius Randle, I thought had a pretty good game. I really, really would be surprised if they shot that well again, right? Like, I mean, granted, Lakers weren't playing the best defense, but for them to hit 50% of their threes, 21 threes, setting a franchise record, I'm not going to bank on that. So I think it was a little bit of an anomaly game. I'm not going to freak out because obviously, what is everyone saying, right? Lakers in five means you got to lose one. So, I mean, why not lose the first one? And you kind of throw back. I mean, you kind of throw back to that 2020 season. Granted, it was the bubble, right? It was different times, different environment. But I don't know if you remember, Matt, in the first round against
Yeah,
Portland,
Dame's Blazers.
Dame's Blazers took the first game, and then Lakers went on to gentlemen sweep them, right? The next four.
I will say though, the Timberwolves are a better team than the Blazers were at that
Oh,
time.
I mean, and granted, they were, right? But even the second round, right? It was that Houston team with Harden and Westbrook and those guys, right? Like They took the first game. Russ was talking all this shit, and then it was another 5 game series. So, like I said, I understand it was the bubble, different level of hoops, right? We're getting played, but I'm not going to overreact. Even if it's not Lakers in five, the biggest thing is that we come out of the series with a win, right? So I think it was a little bit of an anomaly and honestly, a little bit of a wake up call for the Lakers. Like, hey, guess what? Other teams, they're ready to play. They're ready to go. It's going to be physical. It's going to be tough. Like, yeah, we're the Lakers, but no one's going to be scared of us, right? So we got to go out there and earn it. Um, I do have a little bit of solace knowing that it's JJ Redick who's going to be able to communicate that with his guys and LeBron, right? I could tell JJ was pissed, right? I don't know if you heard that on court interview he had, right? I think it was like between the third and fourth, where he's like, just not playoff intensity. I don't know. We're playing with regular season intensity. Can't be happening in the playoff, blah, blah, blah. So, like he could already recognize that, right? And he's going to be straight up with his guys, like, not acceptable. And I expect that from LeBron too. Like we can't be having that kind of effort. Whether it's Luca, whether it's LeBron, all the way down to guys, like Gabe Vincent, down to Alex Len if he's gonna play in this series, right? Like everyone needs to be
Oof.
giving it that 110%, no matter what, right? So I'm not gonna be like overly concerned. I mean, there's definitely a little bit of concern anytime you get smacked in the first game, like how they did. But I'm gonna keep my faith in LeBron, keep my faith in JJ, keep my faith in Luca and this team that they're gonna figure it out. And regardless of what happens tomorrow, right? They're still gonna be hungry because we've seen teams as well go down 0-2, right? And then come back and win series. I mean, granted, it's usually not the home team that goes down 0-2 and comes back to win. But it's been done before. The 2-0 deficit is much more doable than that 3-0 deficit, right? So, yeah,
Well,
I'm not
it's
gonna
going to be
overreact,
interesting.
but
I think, like, I don't know if you go down 0-2, I think that's the panic button. I agree. You don't panic after game one. You take care of business. You get a split. You have to trust that your veteran leaders can win one game, basically 1 out of 3 on the road. Because you have to assume you have to defend home court the rest of the way. So, can you win 1 out of 3 on the road? I would hope LeBron, Luca, the veterans can obviously block out that, road environment, and they know how to handle that, especially LeBron James. So I don't think that's a huge panic meter button yet. But obviously we're recording before game two concludes, so we'll see how that is after that. But I'm gonna be curious to see how JJ and the Lakers respond with their scheme because they gave up a lot of wide open threes. And looking at the game, like Ant-Man was pretty good in terms of playing the game the right way. So it's going to be interesting. Are you going to let Ant-Man keep dishing it out to these guys and daring them to make threes? Or are you going to take away Nas Reed, take away Jaden McDaniels? Maybe you let Ant go for 40, 50 points. But if he's an inefficient 40 or 50 points, not getting other guys involved, then maybe that's the way to go. So I'm curious to see how JJ comes back in game two with his coaching adjustments. And I also thought it was kind of weird that, Jared Vanderbilt, I thought he's like the defensive stopper, like just that annoying pest that just gets in your, and he was doing that in game one, to certain guys. But I thought he was going to be on Ant more. Like he came out, he was guarding, Julius Randle, he was guarding Nas Reed. He was kind of playing, in a sense, a traditional big on defense. So I don't know if JJ was kind of just saving that in the back pocket to kind of just see how, Gabe Vincent and, Finney Smith and all these other guys do against Ant. But I thought that would be the primary matchup for Vanderbilt. Like when he comes in, he just plays like 10 minutes of just relentless, pesky defense on Anthony Edwards just to kind of wear him out a little bit. So I didn't see a lot of that in the first game. So I'm very curious to see if he gets more on the ball with Ant because that I think that's the chess piece right there on defense is Vando. Like obviously LeBron is kind of the ultimate chess piece. He's the queen, but Vanderbilt is important, I think, for that second unit defensively. And another thing is you're going to need Austin Reeves to play better. Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
100%.
Austin Reeves was
100%.
terrible. Like I have not seen Austin Reeves play that bad in a long, long time. So maybe it was just a bad day. Sometimes it happens, but I mean, he cannot play like that. I'm sorry. That was very unlike Austin Reeves.
Yeah,
So
especially
I would almost expect JJ to get him going first. Like Luca is going to be Luca, whether he scores 0 points in the first quarter or he can score 20 in the first quarter. Like he's so good that he's going to impact the game. Anyway, how he might start with 0, he'll finish the game with 25 somehow. But Austin Reeves, I think JJ is going to get him involved early. Get him an open first play of the game. It's going to be Austin Reeves. I'm calling it. Austin Reeves is going to get a bucket, and that'll get him into a rhythm, I think, because they're going to need him. Because Luka's going to be Luka. LeBron he's 40. Like he's picking and choosing when to kind of attack. Like he was very, I want to say, kind of lethargic and passive in the first half. Second half, okay, we saw some flashes of, typical LeBron stuff, but it was more a little too late because you're down 22 at the
right.
point he's turning on the motor. So we need that from the jump or by the middle of the first quarter after he feels out how the game is going to be played. So that's the two things I'm looking forward to seeing how this series progresses is the Jared Vanderbilt defensive strategy and Austin Reeves, man. Just come on. You gotta play better, dude.
Yeah.
You just
No.
gotta straight up play better.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. The one thing I'll say, obviously, AR, that's a given. Like, especially for how he's transitioned and taken the leap this year, like that is unacceptable. We
Yeah,
need
he
this
looked
big three to
timid.
be
That's why I
clicking.
was like, what is
Hmm.
going on?
Yeah, and we need him to be in that aggressive attacking mode, right? So I don't know if it's a little bit like Luca had it going and he didn't want to mess up Lucas. Well, I don't know, but regardless, like you said, he needs to be better. He knows it. He even said it himself. So I'm not worried about Austin. I think he'll have a good bounce back game, and I like that you said that he needs to get going early. The one thing I'll say about the Jared Vanderbilt point in that game one was that I think when they got down, right, it's hard to throw in Vandal then because he's not going to give you that spacing and that 3 point shot that you need to make that run, to come back. So curious to see the starting lineup for tomorrow, Matt, because I mean, you just look at the
Oh, you think he's
box
gonna change the lineup?
stat sheet. I mean, you just look at that, right? And I'm not even necessarily looking at Rui, but potentially Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes only played 8 minutes in that game one, right? So I don't know if that was the game plan.
I feel like he needs to play more.
I mean, maybe,
Second
but
chance points was killing them.
so and
He
so that's
wanted to
that's
get
a thing,
rebounds.
right? We need to have the gang rebounding, and guys in there. But you look at a guy like Jared Vanderbilt. I mean, he's all over the court, right? I mean, he's not 7 feet tall, but he comes up with loose balls. He gets the offensive, rebound tip outs. Not to say that Jackson Hayes can't do that, but I'm going to say if the Wolves are not going to play through Rudy Gobert inside, right, offensively, I think that I think the counter to that is you go more perimeter defensive heavy, right? Just to, you're going to adjust throughout the game with how the game's being played, right? But I think that would be my counter, right? You said get Jared Vanderbilt in there, more active, and I think he needs to do that when the game is closer or when it's earlier in the game, right? So you get him in early, you already start throwing bodies at Ant. And I'm not even talking about just Jared Vanderbilt, but you get a Jordan Goodwin in there,
Yeah,
right? For a
he's a pest
possession,
too.
yeah, exactly, a possession or two, pounding Ant. Even you can go at Mike Conley because he runs a majority of their sets too, right? Like just throw in guys like that. We have Shake Milton who can play, right? But like get fresh legs and just throw them at these guys, have them pick them up full court for 2-3 possessions, and then on the dead ball sub them out. I mean, honestly, I don't know if that's going to be the key, but after seen that game one, it was just too things were too easy, right? So I think the counterpoint is you make those guys work every possession. You're making them work, and I'm not worried about whatever JJ does. I mean, he's obviously smarter than both of us when it comes to the game of basketball. But I do think we will see some kind of adjustment to the game plan. Like knowing JJ, he's seen it. He knows the vibe in the room, and he understands the X's and O's. I would say just as well as anyone, right? So I'm not worried. I think it will be a bounce back game tomorrow. I think it'll still be a pretty close game, but it should be a game that the Lakers can win. Um, honestly, must win, like you said. So we'll see, Matt. But I think it's gonna be a really good game two tomorrow. So excited to see how that one shakes out.
I hope when we're not doing next recording, the season's not doing a season recap
Yeah,
already.
yeah, me too. Which we shouldn't. We shouldn't, right? But yeah, let's not jinx it. I'm not gonna jinx it. Anyway, good on the Lakers. I think they'll bring the energy for tomorrow. And they'll be ready to go. I'm confident. But we do need to touch on some of the other games, Matt. So I'm just gonna get I don't want to say the boring ones out of the way, but the blowouts out of the way first. So obviously that Thunder's Grizzlies game. I mean, I don't talk about blowout. I like that could have legitimately been like a team, an NBA team playing a college team, like final score. I mean, I'm not calling the Grizzlies a college team, but if you lose by 51 in the playoffs, I mean, I don't know. Not a lot to say there. I think
It's
it'll
like
be
a
a
one seed
pretty
playing a 16 seed.
16. Yeah, maybe that's a better example. But even they don't lose by 51 points. Like I get they're at home and I know the Thunder are good, but geez, man. Um anyway, it's almost like it really doesn't matter. It's such an anomaly, right? You could say for Memphis, it's like they played amazing and we played the worst we've ever played. So that will never happen again because it's almost like so outlandishly like a blowout that it's like okay, yeah, we can forget about this one, right? It's almost feels worse. I think if you lose by like 20 because you're really trying and you're like have all your guys in there and you still getting blown out, but when it's such a big disparity and it's kind of like oh, I feel like it's almost easier to shake those games off, right? So I don't know,
Well,
we'll see. I
if
still
they
think
do
it's
the
going to be
same
a
thing in
wash,
game
but
two, then it's
no, it's wraps. Yeah,
that's
I
not
mean,
an anomaly.
I think we already think it's wraps for that one. So yeah, don't even really need to touch on um though that series because I think we're pretty confident in how that's gonna go. Maybe it'll be different when we're talking about it next week, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it's gonna go. Then over to the East, right? The 1 and 2 seeds playing the 7 and 8 seeds. I mean,
Well,
yeah, well, what did you expect, right? The Cavs win by 21 at home. And then going over to the other side, Boston, I think they won by like almost 20, something like that, like
and
17.
Tatum didn't even play that good.
Tatum didn't even play good. Surprise, surprise. And they still win, right?
Oh yeah,
Derek
here we
White.
go. The Tatum
I'm
bashing
just
begins.
saying that like you put Luca on the Celtics. How is that gonna look, Matt? Like you put like heck, you put Luca on the Thunder instead of Shea. How is that gonna look? Right? I mean, like that it's I don't think it's gonna be a lot different, to be completely honest. Um, but I would say more so for Tatum. Like, I mean, he didn't have to do a lot. He had 14 rebounds, so team player, good guy. But when you got Derek White bombing three, like 7 of 12, and you go 8 of 22, drop 17 points, but you know, like you don't need to do a lot. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, like, he didn't need to do a
Really?
ton. He didn't need
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
a
yeah,
ton.
yeah.
And it helps when you're playing a team that's not as talented, right? Um, you're at home. You got probably who's good the guy that's gonna be the sixth man of the year in Peyton Pritchard. So like you have the better team. You don't like that's just how it's gonna be. Yeah, enough said about Boston and Cleveland because I expect both of them to steamroll their opponents. So the other interesting game, and it's not, I mean, expected. I think we both picked Indiana pending Dame's health, right? But I don't know. I still kind of like Indiana because what is Dame gonna be like? I know he was all pissed
Yeah, he's
off
not
and they
in
were
basketball
chirping,
condition.
but to get over the thrombosis, granted, sounds like he's a freaking superhuman or something because he's gotten cleared faster than anyone has ever gotten cleared before. So that's already insane. But I don't know, like, is Dame going to provide that much punch? And he's not even confirmed, I think, right, for
They
tomorrow's
said
game.
game two or game three. I think game three at the latest. But if it's
So,
game three, I don't think they're winning game two. So
yeah,
they'll be
yeah.
down 2-0 possibly.
And
And
that's going
Dame
to be
comes
a
back.
steep hill to climb. I think Indiana should have that series. I mean, they're a really good team too, so I would expect Indiana to come out of that, unless Dame returns in Dame form in Game Two. Like, there's no other way I can really see that being different. They got blown out, right? The Bucks
Yeah.
got blown out, so
Well, when you got Kyle Kuzma putting up the Tony Snell
oh man,
stat line,
now Tony Snell has been saved because Kuzma put up what 22 minutes and put the donuts up across the board. I mean, he's almost like their X factor. They need him to play well.
well, they traded Chris Middleton away for him.
Yeah, and
The
so
guy who won a championship for you. He was the last shot. He was the crunch time shot guy over Giannis, and they traded him away.
yeah,
That I don't understand. And it was like I'm not knocking Kuzma, but
I don't know. I was always a Chris Middleton
yeah,
fan,
like I
so
mean, he's not the number one guy. He doesn't have a ego. Like he obviously he's deferring to Giannis. Those two came up together. Literally got drafted, I think, in the same year. Like that's your homegrown guys, and you just kick them out the door, and you bring in a Washington Wizard. No offense, but Wizards aren't probably the best for playoff experience, I would say. Granted, Kuzma did win a title with the Lakers, but a much different role. Like you're asking Kuzma to be the quote unquote number two guy now. Giannis is Robin. I don't think that's his. That's just not his role. So it's kind of unfair to him at the same time. But I think that trade was just that was the start of it, and then Dame's health, obviously. So things not looking so good in Milwaukee.
yeah. Okay.
Maybe Dame will go back to Portland next year.
Yeah, I don't think so. Um, well, I think we're pretty confident with how those series are gonna play out, Matt. So
Yeah.
let's get to some of the more interesting, more intriguing series. We'll get to the last game that's or last series that's only been uh had one game so far, and that is the Warriors and the Rockets already off to that upset that you predicted, or do we both predict? I think we both predicted that actually.
We
Uh,
both said the
I
Warriors
think we
would
both
win.
had the Warriors, so already off to a decent start. But I think this is going to be a really, really entertaining series. I know it was a 10-point game, but it was close for a majority of it. But to be honest, it came down to the classic late game execution, late game scoring, which is why we favored the Warriors anyway. We said Steph and we said Jimmy. And guess which two guys came up big down the stretch, especially Steph. I mean, like, when he's having one of those nights, I mean, he only had 25 points, but, or I'm sorry, he had 31 points. I'm looking at Jimmy's score. He had 31 points and he's hitting the three. It's like the demoralizing threes. When he
That
hits
was that
those,
killer three
the
in the fourth quarter.
sidestep, yeah. You know what I'm talking about? The sidestep,
Yeah.
fading away, rainbow cash. Like, that's when
I'm
you
talking
just
about
kind
is
of
that
hang
the
your
one in the
head.
fourth quarter when it was like late in the shot clock, the deep one?
No, no, not the deep one. Not the
Oh,
deep. I
not the
was talking
deep
about
one.
like the one he hit on the sideline,
Oh,
fading
in the first
away.
half.
Was that the first half?
Was it
I
first
thought that
half
was in the second
or third
half.
quarter?
I think it was in the second half.
Oh,
But
I forget. But I
I
know
feel
what you're
like
talking about. It was
yeah,
on Instagram.
yeah, those are the ones where you kind of just like shake your head. Um, but yeah, and the deep one too. I know which one you're talking about. And
But that one
then
was demoralizing for the Rock
yeah,
because they were creeping their way back, and it's like, oh, they're 3 seconds on the shot clock. They get a stop. They can tie the game, and then Steph Curry hits this. I don't want to even say ridiculous. Like it's kind of shots
Steph
he
hits a
just
Steph
hits.
three. Yep.
It's a effortless three, and then you could just feel the crowd like, oh,
Yeah.
the energy just got sucked out of the arena.
Yeah.
Even though it was only a 6 point game still, but Houston's scrapping their way, working so hard to climb into this or chip into the 20 point deficit, and then that. So just, I mean, how many times have I seen it against LeBron's Cavs? But that's why the Warriors are going to win. But I do think Houston is. I think it's going to go. I would say 6 or 7. To be honest, I have I have confidence in the Rockets that they're going to come back. I mean, Van Fleet and Jalen Green cannot be that bad,
They
right?
won't
Like
they
they can't be
can't be,
that
right?
bad. Because
Especially Van Vliet.
oh
Like
my goodness,
just gotta look at the box. He was 2 of 13 from three. And like wide open three. Some of them were wide open threes too. Like, what is going on?
with Jalen Green too,
Jalen
it's like
Green,
he's
wide
your quote
open
unquote
threes.
number one scorer, and
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
3 of 15. Good gracious.
Yeah. I don't think they'll play. I agree with you. I don't think they're gonna play that bad again. I mean, they can't, right? Shangun was like, someone help me, please. Because it felt like he had to do everything out there. Um,
Yeah,
but I think, yeah, like you said, I think honestly they'll probably bounce back in
yeah. I
that
think they
game too.
defend pretty well. I mean, they held the Warriors to under 100 points. That's almost a recipe for success for everybody.
Hmm.
I think Amen Thompson, like Brooks, like they have the defenders to throw at Steph, and they were super physical with him. Like, yeah, he scored 31, but he's working hard. So maybe if you can get it to a game 5, game 6, game 7, the fatigue will start to kick in. Some of the shots that he's hitting from deep, maybe he'll come up short on those later in the series. So it has an effect, I think. Which is why I think Houston will be fine if they have the same kind of defensive mentality. Because I'm just counting on Fred Van Fleet not going 2 for 13. Like, just do a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
Jalen Green, just do a little better than 3 of 15. Honestly, they both make 2 shots more. They might win the game.
Hmm.
And they're still under 40% shooting. So they're right there. I think they're right there. So they shouldn't be discouraged with the game 1 loss. I will say that.
Yeah. Also, um, 11 of 20 from the line isn't going to help either. So I agree with
Yep.
you. I think they'll bounce back. I think and I hope that that's a 7 game series. Um,
But yeah, for the Lakers'
for the
sake.
Lakers' sake. Well, Lakers got to focus on themselves first. But yeah, I hope either way it goes 7. But I think it'll be a good series, and I think we're gonna see of what we saw in game 1. Like it's gonna be a defensive battle. It's gonna be ugly, and points are gonna be hard to come by, and it's gonna feel like old school, like basketball almost. But I
That's
think that's more exciting. Yeah,
Draymond Green's
the
game.
bread and butter of some of these guys. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun series for sure, Matt. Um, okay, and then we'll kind of round it off here with the last 2 games or last 2 series. The game 2s that started today. We will start with that first game, that Knicks Pistons. After the first one, like I thought that first game was going to kind of encapsulate how the series was going to go for Detroit, right? Like they had the lead, they had a chance to close it out in the fourth, and I think the Knicks won on like a 20-0 or something ridiculous run, right? To close
21
out the
nothing run.
21-0 run to close out the game in Madison Square Garden. And what we were saying about the Pistons was the same thing we were saying about the Rockets on the other side, right? Really talented, up and coming teams, but still really young, not a lot of experience in the playoffs, probably not going to be able to execute down the stretch, right? And we kind of saw that in that first game. But Second game tonight, completely different story. They were in it pretty much. I mean, they were in it the whole way, and honestly, they made more shots down the stretch than the Knicks, who have a lot of veteran guys. But got to give Detroit the credit that they're due, especially Cade, man. I mean, that dude is like he's not scared of the moment. He finishes with 33 and 12 boards too, so he's active on the glass. Like he is ready for the moment, I think. And he like watching Cade, it just reminds me of like I'm trying to find a good comp, but the game just comes to him like he's so young. I think we forget this is only what his third year in the league, I think. Um,
Third or
but
fourth, yeah.
third or fourth year in the league because well, the first year, right? He was out like the whole year, right? So, um, third year, I think watching him play, but it's so easy. Like the moment doesn't get too big for him. Still gonna not gonna force anything. Gonna make the right play, and I thought that was really big for Detroit, down the stretch, especially. Um, and then I don't want to say he's like their only vet because they got Tobias Harris, but Dennis Schroeder, dude, Dennis the Menace had a huge game. And he hit the big
Hit the
shot at
big
the end.
shot. Yeah.
Hit the huge three at the end. Like that's the thing about Dennis Schroeder that like he's been in the league. I don't understand how he can't just stick to a team because he's not like a bad player. Like he's a guy that can get minutes on any single team in the NBA. But I also know from him being on the Lakers, like he's not afraid to take the big shot when he's open. We've seen that time and time again, whether he's made it or missed it. But he's not afraid of the moment. He has the confidence, and same thing happened today, right? He comes up, hits the big three, and no one from New York was able to capitalize. I thought Jalen Brunson had a pretty. I mean, he had 37, but I thought like down the stretch had some questionable shot attempt. I think that three he tried to pull to match the Schroeder three right after was a
Hmm.
little tough. Like I get you're the superstar and it's time for you to make a shot, but I thought they could have probably gotten a little bit better of a shot. And then I mean Mikal Bridges has to play better, I think, as well. Like,
Bridges. What about Cat?
okay, well, yeah, Cat has to play better too, but um I don't know. I thought that okay, maybe I'm just gonna harp on that last shot. Like you're a guy that they trade 5 first round picks for. We need you to hit the big shots. Just right. Uh, Open shot to tie the game. Yeah, we're gonna need you to do that. But you're right, Matt. You're right. Cat was the big acquisition. Had a pretty good game one, but I mean, 10 points in a game like game two at home can't happen, especially for being the caliber talent that he is, all star, right? Borderline all NBA guy. Like he has to get it going. He has to be aggressive, and get out and score, like assert himself physically. Because I mean, really, you look at the Pistons lineup. The only guy that can really contest him is Duran, right? So I mean, you just got to be more aggressive. Go hunt mismatches, get in the post, and yeah, demand the ball more. I mean, it's hard because Jalen had it going, kind of, but you still got to find a way, I think, to assert yourself. But
Yeah. Even Thibodeau, like I feel like he deserves a little bit of blame here. Like you just look at the I know he's a guy notoriously known to play like five guys and just roll with them, but it's kind of just insane just to look at the minutes kind of distribution. Like it's kind of ridiculous. And it's like the one thing that stands out is the campaign one because guy plays 4 minutes in game two and he was like he practically won the game for you in
mhm,
game one. How does he not get more run in this
yeah,
game? And I
I
feel like
don't.
it was a similar kind of game. Like the Pistons really were in control through 3.5 quarters or 3 quarters, and then the Knicks make a push, and then it's all about can they hold on or not. Like game one, obviously they didn't hold on. This game, they held on just in time or just enough. But where was campaign? Like I think he deserved a little bit more than 4 minutes of playing time, especially with guys like Cat kind of just not there. I don't know what it is. Bridges was just a little bit off with the 3 point shot. OG, a little bit quiet. I get it. You're probably going to play them because defensively too. But Josh Hart didn't have the offensive game. So where's the spell for kind of a offensive spark? Like I just didn't understand that move. So it'll be interesting to see how they counter. But I'm liking my pick. I think I picked the Pistons to upset the Knicks in this series. 1-1.
I'm
That's
still pretty
exactly what you want.
confident in Knicks, I think.
I just
Uh,
think it's a perfect way for the Pistons to play. Like it's a good match. Honestly, they both match up pretty well. Like it's kind of the similar styles of play. And I just think the New York, yeah, they have some clutch moments, but at the same time, I don't know. Sometimes it's a little questionable, but I still think the Pistons are in a good spot right now. Yeah, they have to be happy going. They have home court now. Um, I don't think it'll last, to be honest. I think it'll go 6 or 7, most likely 7 at this rate. But then it comes down to Cade versus Jalen, who's gonna make that clutch play at the end. And I think, I've seen Cade, he's growing on me. He didn't hit the big shot, but played a really good game in game two, I thought.
yeah. Well, I guess we'll see how that one plays out, Matt. But yeah, I think the Knicks will be fine. I just think they'll figure it out.
It's
Um,
gonna be a ugly, kind of scrappy, like just a ugly, ugly series, I think.
yeah. I mean, what else do you expect from the Knicks and the Pistons, right?
Yep.
Good old
Old
old school
school.
basketball. But okay, well, we'll get to our last series here then. Probably going to
This was
shake
going
out to
7.
being not only, yep, exactly. It's going to go 7 and will probably be the most entertaining series, like game to game. Because I think each series could very well come down to the final possession. Every single game, I think, will probably get determined on the final possession. I mean, you look at these two teams, both so good, right? It's tough that they have to match up with each other in the first round. Like these are two championship level contenders going at it in round one, and that's just how the West goes, right? But that first game, Matt, I thought Denver. I thought both teams, played really well. Was nice to see that old James Harden from the Clippers in that game one. But I mean, we got to talk about the dude that kind of gave him the boost, Russ. Man, I mean, he gave him made the big plays late in that game one to help him. Even though that was an ugly last possession of the
Russ
regulation.
just, oh my gosh.
I mean, it's like it's like the double edged sword, right? It like Russ is going to play how he's going to play, and it's either going to work out well or it's not. um, that's kind of how it goes with Russ. But luckily for them, in that first game, he made the enough plays at the end, right, and had that big defensive deflection to help them secure game one. So that was a good side of Russ. Um, and then in this game too, Matt. I mean, I'll just say that I never thought we would see that Kawhi ever again. But man,
Literally like the claw.
the claw that is like 2016 Kawhi Leonard has returned. Um, that's like the Kawhi that the Warriors were so scared of. They sent Zaza Pachulia to go take him out of the series. That's that Kawhi Leonard that we just saw. So like what did he missed 4 shots? He had 39 on 19 buckets, 19 shot attempts. He had 39 points. He made 15. And like I really thought he wasn't gonna miss. Like it looked like every shot he took was going in. Um and so if that Kawhi is back, yeah, Denver better strap up because it's gonna be a series. I it's just crazy, Matt. Like I think since the whole injury thing, after Toronto essentially, right, where he was, let's be honest, Kawhi was a top five player easily, right? At that time when he transitioned from the Spurs over to Toronto. And then from there, it's just kind of been, the injuries and will he ever be the same? Will he ever play, this long ever again? But I think he's kind of reminding everyone of the talent that he was and apparently still is. Cause yeah, this was like so classic, like the classic you look up and Kawhi has 20 point. What? And it's so efficient. Um and like his game isn't flashy. It's never been flashy, but he's just so efficient at getting to his spots and so deadly when he chooses to shoot. Like
I think the thing
like
that makes it so like nostalgic is like he did it on both ends to win, literally win the game. Like he had the steal off of the Jokic pass
mm-hmm.
to almost seal it in a sense. And then obviously before that he hits the mid-range shot to put him up three. So it's like that's the two-way package of Kawhi Leonard that in his prime you could say that's what he did.
I mean, he was at his peak, he was the best two-way player in the game, hands down, right? So that was I think that was a little bit of a scary sight to see. It's almost like I don't even I'm trying to think of a metaphor, but it's like when you see the OG come back and realize he still got it, and it's like, oh, we're in trouble, like yeah. But I think this is good to probably go seven, and this is good. It'll play out perfectly because it's easy for me to choose who to root for in this game now because Denver won the first one. I was rooting for the Clippers. So now that the Clippers won, I'm going to root for Denver. And then after Denver wins, I'm going to root for the Clippers. So it's like, as long as it goes back and forth, that's all I want. Because like I said, um, I'll be happy either way with either of these teams gone because both of them look terrifying. So I
Well,
want,
lucky for you, OKC's got whoever comes out.
hey, but I got to say, man, OKC better be ready for whoever comes out of this series because it's going to be, they're going to be battle tested. And I don't know if how battle tested Oklahoma City is going to be after this series with Memphis. But I will say, Matt, I think that, Jamal had 23. Um, so I mean, he was kind of doing his thing, but we're going to need to see, I think, a lot of the other role players kind of step up for Denver just a little bit more offensively, right? Like I think between Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. and Christian Brown, they're probably going to need to score closer to like 50 points combined between the three of those guys. If they can get to like 50, then that's doable. I'd wonder how much we're gonna see of Christian Brown down the stretch though, because like that last possession was disgusting. Um, like he completely bricked that three. Um, yeah, so I don't know how well that's gonna be because you look at kind of Denver's three, and then you could say the Clippers three with Norman Powell. The Clippers are a little bit more deadly, I think. Plus the emergence, Zubac has been playing well all year long, so he's contributing a lot. And Chris Dunn has kind of been a menace. Him and Derek Jones Jr. kind of play that similar defensive, stopper role. So I think whichever three guys are going to outduel the other three, and that's a luxury that Denver has. Like they have Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. that can step up offensively. So I don't know. I think I still favor Denver a little bit in this series, Matt. But yeah, this one's going seven for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I picked Denver in seven, I think.
Yeah, you did.
I think did you to that
Yeah, we
too?
we both did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel confident still that that's how it's gonna play out. Um, but I am a little worried just because it just doesn't seem like the Nuggets have enough depth. Like they don't have KCP anymore. And that was after we were saying after they won the championship, They had Bruce Brown coming off the
Bruce
bench. He was that
Brown.
sixth man. It's like, oh, they lost him. But, they still have KCP. They still have, Christian Brown was kind of like on the come up a little bit. So, they're okay. But now he's gone. So it's like, okay, he's starting now, Christian Brown. So really, it's like Russ is off the bench, and then that's kind of it. Like you put DJ in to spell Jokic for like a little bit, but there really isn't much. And I feel like it's the shooting that's missing. Like Murray can shoot, and I would say Porter. That's like the two guys that you can say, oh yeah, like let's not give them a wide open three. And most of the time, Jamal Murray's going to have the ball in his hands, but like a guy who's going to have a catch and shoot three, it's probably Michael Porter Jr. Like that loss of KCP, I think, is really, really, really huge, I think, for this team. And Russ, teams are going to dare him to shoot. In some games, yeah, he might get hot or be efficient, but there's going to be a game in this series where he goes classic Russell Westbrook, where the shot is not going to be there, but he's Russ, right? He has no conscience. So if I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. So there's going to be a game like that. I'm almost convinced. I would say you would think the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just a little worried that it just might happen one too many times. And then, it relies on now the best player on the planet to be the best player on the planet and do some crazy voodoo type stuff, which he's very capable of. Um, but that's how I think it's really going to play out. Like, I feel like Jokic is going to have this like 50-20-15 game in like game seven or something that just is like, well, there's nothing you can do about that. Like, I really do think that Jokic is going to have some kind of game like that.
Yeah, and he might need to, like,
Yeah, but
with
that's what I
how it's
think. They
gonna
don't have the
go.
depth.
And don't get me wrong, Jamal Murray, 23 points, 9 of 17, like that's great. That's really good. But I think he needs to turn into that superhero Jamal Murray. Like he's gonna need to drop 30 plus points,
Like
be even
Lakers
more
Jamal Murray.
Laker killer Jamal Murray. Yeah, he's gonna have to turn to kill the other LA team instead. Because like you said, Matt, they kind of just lack the depth that they used to have um the past 2 years. So I think he needs to be even more aggressive, look for his shots more. Because I mean, when he gets hot, yeah, it's pretty scary. So we'll see. But I do think it'll be a good series either way. And hoping it goes seven because yeah, I don't want either. I think if both get knocked out, that'd be wonderful. But it's gonna be have to be one at a time. So
Well, just hopefully the Lakers take care of business first, and then you can
exactly.
worry about
Yeah.
the other
Lakers need to
stuff.
take care of business, but we'll see. And like you said, hopefully we're not doing a recap next week, Matt. But I guess we'll have to see how the rest of it goes. But moving on to our next topic, Matt, we have the NFL draft coming up, right? So let's get into some draft talk. Um, I guess we'll start with our teams first, right? We'll go teams first and then kind of look at the top guys. But we'll start with you, Matt, because we always start with the Cowboys when we do our NFL segments. So you're Jerry Jones sitting there at what are you guys picking?
12.
12, right? That's right. One before us. So you're sitting there at 12, picking one before the Dolphins. I mean, obviously it's going to depend how it shakes out, but you kind of have a good sense of who will be there at 12, I think. So you're Jerry Jones. A lot of needs across the board. What are you doing? First, yeah, what are you do? What would you do, and what do you think is going to happen? Two different, very different things.
What would I do?
Yeah,
I would get on the phone and say, I'm selling the Dallas Cowboys. Anyone want to buy the team? That would be my first order of business. But I don't think that's going to happen, sadly. So, with that being said, I truly think it's looking like Dallas would draft a receiver, sadly. And it's not even like like there's been better classes
There have
at
definitely been better
at
receiver
receiver,
classes.
but we literally have nothing. We have nothing.
Oh, you got CD.
That's it. That's it. And we saw what we had last year. It's like CD or literally nothing. So we need weapons. And the NFL has clearly shown us with these teams that win Super Bowls and make deep playoff runs, you need weapons. It's a weapons league now. And I feel like Dallas offensive line, you could say, well, Zach Martin retired, but I think they have their guy. Brock Hoffman's probably going to be the guy that slides in there. So I think for that, it's more about just a little bit of depth. Like you have Tyler Guyton, young guy, second year. Tyler Smith is now you're crazy. He's the veteran. You drafted Cooper Beebe last year, second year. So you have a quote unquote young core to kind of build around. So now it's just, yeah, you add guys late in the draft or free agents. So I think they're okay in the need picks there, which means you got to address wide receiver. Oh, but what about running back? Like, we don't have a running back anymore. Well, Jerry already kind of played his hand. Like, he's got Javante, got Miles Sanders. So, yeah, like, I guess that'll play, but you can work around that, I think. It's the receiver. We have no receivers. So I'm thinking at 12, ideally, I would want T Mac, but I don't know if he's going to be there. Like, I see some reports, oh, he's going to
Yeah.
be a top 5 pick. And then now I see something, it's like, oh, he's sliding in the draft. So it's like, I don't know. Like, truly, I don't know what these guys rate each player because sometimes the mock drafts are like, what the heck? Not even close. But if it was my first choice, I would probably pick him if he's on the board. If he's not, that's when it gets a little interesting, to be honest. Like Matthew Golden seems like he's been kind of a consensus, like, oh, he's the safe pick there. But the more I think about it, if it's not McMillan, I'm honestly looking to trade back, like trade down and draft a guy like Ibuka, Luther Burden. Like get me an extra pick or two if we can get kind of that second tier wide receiver. Like we don't need him to be wide receiver one. That's the good part because we have CD in his prime. So we just need you to be. I mean, obviously, if you turn into T Higgins, that's great. But we just need him to be stable on the outside. So I think there's so many things that we need. If it's not a guy like McMillan, who I think is the consensus best wide receiver in this class, trade down. Trade down to 18 and draft Burden or draft the Ibuka. Like I think that's probably a move that I would be like, okay, like I'm okay with that. Um, but if it's not receiver, I feel like it's gonna be a corner. I feel like it's gonna be like a Will Johnson kind of thing or the Tennessee corner. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that's a play just because Trayvon Diggs' situation is getting a little bit weary and Deron Bland's into his last year on his rookie deal and who knows what Jerry's going to do if we're going to pay him or not. So that's kind of the attacking point, I think, in that first round. And then you go to the second round, that's when we can start thinking about running back. Maybe we can go try get those Ohio State guys, just one of them, Travion or Judkins. One of them would be nice, honestly, in the second round, I think. But that's the way I think I'm approaching it. Receiver and then running back in the second round.
Okay. Um, I mean, that would be cool if you guys get McMillan. Like, if you get T Mac, you got a Hawaii boy on the Cowboys that
I mean,
you
that's
can
like
cheer for too.
that's
That's
the
cool.
the dream scenario. Well, honestly, I could care less if he's from Hawaii. I just think he's the best like receiving prospect.
And he's like a big body guy too.
Yeah,
So it's like
I think. I mean, he's not like a DK like freak athlete
no, he's
guy,
not
but
he's not a burner, but I think if he can be a somewhat I don't want to say Mike Evans either, because Mike Evans, a pretty fast guy too, but just a big bodied, reliable guy that can be a cross of CD. And we've kind of seen it right over the past several years. You don't need to be big, and you don't even need to be fast. Like you look at guys like Cooper Kupp, Puka, right on that Rams offense. Devontae was never the burner, right? But efficient, smart football players like can
yeah.
can make all the difference.
And
So
he's not. And the thing is, we're not asking this guy who, if we draft a receiver, oh, you're like you're the number one guy. Like no, like you're the best case scenario. You're the number two guy in front of C. Like let CD handle the number one guys on the other side. Like he can win those matchups. You just worry about the number two corner. You can beat them, then we're in a good spot. So I think that's a good position to have. It's not like I would say like the Bengals. I wouldn't even say that, but it's like maybe when the Bengals drafted Higgins, like before Chase, it's like at the time they're thinking, oh, T Higgins, like he's got to be the number one guy. Like it all worked out in the end, but that's not the situation with Dallas. Like the expectations will be a little bit lower for this kid to succeed. So I just think it's almost like they have to, unless, like I said, T Mac's not there, trade down, trade down and get picks because we need a lot because we don't do anything in free agency. So
right.
we need all the help we can get at this point.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see. It's going to be an interest. I think it'll be an interesting draft in the sense like that first, like even the whole first round, we don't really know where anyone's going. Like it's
I
not a
think it'll be funny
predetermined
though.
thing.
You know, it's going to be funny is if the Cowboys stay at 12 and then they draft whoever the Dolphins was going to take, and
Okay,
I'm going to
and
get a text like, no.
well, okay. So here's the thing, and that's a good transition, Matt. Well, I'll talk about the Dolphins really quick. Obviously they have several position needs. So it's not like before where I thought there was a need for a specific position. Like last year, albeit Chop Robinson turned out great, right? I really thought we needed a first round offensive lineman, like badly in the draft last year. Granted, it turned out to be good that we got Chop because Jalen Phillips goes down, Bradley Chubb doesn't come back. Like Chop blossomed into the stud that he is, right? So it turned out well. The problem is we need a lot of help, right? Defensive linemen, defensive tackle specifically. Like we got Zach Sealer. Outside of that, pretty thin. I mean, we lost Calais Campbell. Unfortunately, he was a huge piece for us. Then you look at the cornerback position, obviously with the whole Jalen Ramsey thing. Don't have a lot of reliable guys right there right now, especially after Kendall Fuller is gone, who I thought was going to be really good for us. That didn't work out, and now we're finding out about the Jalen Ramsey situation. So potentially in need of a immediate number one corner there in Miami, and then third interior offensive lineman. Like there's not enough offensive linemen to go around that we probably need. I would say we probably could use a safety too, especially losing Javon Holland. But I don't know if we need a. There's one in the first round necessarily that we need to go reach for at 13. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. But I will say that just kind of looking back at the I'll call it the past five drafts that Miami had a first round pick. Because you remember that 2022-23 season, no first round pick. So not going to judge it on that. But you look back at the 5 years before that. So this past year, and then from 2020 to let's call it 2018, right? I'll say 2018, Minka Fitzpatrick. That guy turned out pretty good. 2019, Christian Wilkins. That guy turned out pretty good. 2020, they go Tua. Austin Jackson, who's our starting right tackle, and then Igbenogany. Yeah, that was a bust, right? But then you go the next draft, they go the Jalen's back to back in the first round, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, and then Chop, right? So I would say that Chris Greer, for the most part, the past several drafts in when selecting first round talent, he's hit, more than he's whiffed. And you got to hit on the first round guys, right? That's a given. So I'm gonna say I'll trust the process with this one. Yes, there's need. I think as long as they don't go like receiver or something, or like we'll be fine. Even if they want to I don't know if they're gonna reach for a tight end, but it sounds like how Chris Greer likes to draft is he will take his best available on the board, and sometimes that doesn't always fill the need. But last year was a prime example. Like I said, Chop Robinson, I thought we had enough guys on the line. Turned out we really needed Chop Robinson to play, and he played really well for us. So kind of worked out. I think as long as they go any of those position needs, whether it's the corner, defensive tackle, or an offensive lineman, I'm not going to be too upset either way they go. Because I think they need to size up across the board in this draft. I think they're going to need a lot of serviceable guys come week one. So I'm not like dying for any specific guy at that position. I think the best available out of those positions I kind of just listed, Matt, and I'll be pretty happy either way. So that's how I kind of feel about Miami because yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year, interesting offseason. We did lose some key guys, so gonna need to see how things kind of shake out for the Dolphins. But I think with that being said, Matt, that'll cover my Dolphins. So we know Cam is going first, right? I think that's pretty much a given.
Oh
Like
no, Will Levis.
yeah, poor Will Levis and his mail is gonna have to find a new home. But Cam, I mean, they stopped interviewing everyone, right? Like Tennessee, they canceled all the visits with everyone else. So I think that kind of gives a pretty good impression of what's going to happen at number one. Granted, I think Cam is well deserving of being the number one overall pick. Just watching his gameplay, like like I said, sometimes he looks too calm in the pocket for me, like a little bit
Yeah.
too relaxed. But I'm sure, I think at the one, like especially with Tennessee's need, like you can't miss. And I think with Cam, he has all the tools, he has the intangibles. We'll see how far he can elevate his gameplay in Tennessee, but I think that's the best bet for Tennessee right there, no doubt. And we'll see how it plays out. So congrats to Tennessee. You guys got Cam Ward. Then the draft begins, essentially, right after one. The draft begins at two with Cleveland there with the second pick. And no one knows, Matt, what is going on in Cleveland. What do they do? So many things so many directions they could go, right? Obviously, they're stuck with Deshaun, but he's going to be out for the next year with the Achilles, right? So definitely going to need a quarterback there. And
Don't they have
then,
somebody?
I
Who's the
think they have,
backup?
didn't they sign,
It,
who did they sign?
what
They
did
did
they?
sign someone.
They have someone, right?
It's
It's
not
not
Flacco,
Flacco
right?
again, right?
Why did I think they signed? Why did I think they signed Flacco, actually?
That's what I was thinking too. Joe
Uh,
Flacco.
oh, Kenny Pickett. They signed Kenny Pickett.
Uh,
Yeah. So they have
hmm.
Kenny Pickett, and that's it right now on
Oh
their
no,
roster.
Flacco is on the Browns.
Oh, he is? Why does it not say
Yeah,
he's on the Browns?
yeah.
Oh, okay, well, this
I think
NFL.com
he is.
roster is not
Yeah.
showing it. Um, but yeah, I thought
Yeah.
I did see Joe
Cleveland Browns.
Flacco sign with the Browns. Okay, so it'll probably be
Flacco and
um
Pickett. That's the
Joe
quarterback room.
Flacco. But then the question comes in, right? Is it a punt? Are they going to tank again? Tank one more year? Maybe hope for that Arch Manning next year? Like what do they do? So a lot of things Cleveland can choose to do, but I think I don't want to say the safest bet. Um, but you probably go Travis Hunter. Yeah, I would imagine he's there at two, Heisman Trophy winner, going to play both sides of the ball. Apparently, he's not taking no for an answer. So he's going to play both sides. We'll see how effective that is. It'll be interesting to watch for sure in Cleveland to see how Travis can kind of shake out. But I think it's interesting because I think Abdul Carter is a really good piece there too. You can add that to complement
Ooh, him
the
and
the
Miles
money
Garrett.
man. That's a scary tandem.
Mm.
Honestly, if I'm Cleveland and I get the talent that Travis Hunter is, but as we kind of saw, the recipe for success, right? Especially you go back to the Super Bowl, getting after the quarterback. And I think if you have a guy that's established already in Miles Garrett and he can, train up this freak athlete in Abdul Carter on the other side, like that's a scary 1-2 punch for the next several years that the rest of the AFC North is going to have to worry about. So, I mean, I don't know. I think if I'm Cleveland, I might lean a little bit more towards Carter at the two, but there's no denying the talent that Travis Hunter is. It's just who's going to throw him the ball is, because Joe, don't get me wrong, Joe, we know the kind of player that Joe is. It's kind of a coin flip. Um, Seen what Kenny Pickett can do, not super impressive either, right? But I mean, at least Travis can be an effective corner regardless, hopefully. So maybe it's just too much value, right? That you can't pass up on a plus receiver and corner at the same time. I don't know, but
Yeah, Cleveland, I think it would make sense to draft Carter. Like I feel like you hit it on the nose. It's the how do you win games in the trenches, right? You either build your offensive line or you build your defensive line. And we always look at the team that's the defending Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles. How did they beat the Chiefs? They rushed Patrick Mahomes like crazy and got in his face. Like that's and especially for the Browns, who's in your division? Lamar Jackson, probably the best running quarterback of all time.
mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow, like you already got those two guys. So, and then I don't know, maybe the Steelers they draft, say, a Jalen Milroe in their first round
Or
pick,
if Rodgers decides
or
to
Aaron
play,
Rodgers. Yeah. So, but nonetheless, like, I guess if Rodgers, he's like an exception. But okay, but say for the sake of argument, they draft Steelers draft Milroe. You're gonna have mobile quarterbacks all over the place that you're gonna see twice a year. You gotta stop them somehow. So I don't think you're gonna outgun them at this point. Like even if it's Shador, Travis Hunter, is that gonna really move the needle? I guess for this specific Browns team, I don't think so. So I think you just build on your strength, which is their defense. So give Miles Garrett a rubbing and get him Abdul Carter. He's honestly, this people are saying he's this second coming of Micah Parsons. So let's see if that's
that's
true or
pretty
not.
good.
Yeah, I
Pretty
would do
good if
that.
true.
But
Okay.
theoretically, if I was the Browns, I would trade the pick.
Yeah, that's also probably a good option too. I agree.
You could get a
Um,
lot of value with that pick, I think.
yeah.
Like the Giants, maybe the Giants would trade up.
No, they're not going to trade up. Um,
But I think
yeah,
Shador would probably go to the Giants.
there's a lot of questions though, because I mean, the Giants just signed Russell Wilson, Jameis, and DeVito. So,
Yeah, but Russ is on a 1 year deal. Like Shador doesn't have to start, right?
man, that see the thing is you can't miss, right? And so if you're the Giants, you got to be sure on Shadur. If you are, then go for it. But that number three pick, I think, has so much value, especially with the you look at the potential guys that are left, right? Let's say it's Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, and you have a chance at the other one, right? That's a pretty
Yeah.
good option right there in itself. And if you're all I'm saying is you're gonna pick, Shadur at three, you need to be 100% confident, Joe Shane, that he is going to be the guy, right? Because we saw last year. I mean, we saw it. That's the unfortunate part about them being on Hard Knocks, right? Like we saw, like the chance for them to go and try to make a move to get a quarterback, right? Try to make a move to go get someone, and they said, "Nah, we're gonna stick with DJ this year, and we're gonna go get Malik." Don't get me wrong, Malik, well worthy of a first round talent for sure, but at the end of the day, someone got to throw Malik the ball, right? So if you are 100% confident, I think in Shadur, then okay. Even if you think he needs some time to develop, okay, then let him go develop under, like you said, Russell Wilson, a great guy to learn from, whatever the case may be. But you just got to be sure because you're going to let a talent potentially that's Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. Heck, you even look down, there's still Genty still on the board, Will Campbell, who's the number one rated offensive lineman in the draft
There's no shot they draft Genty because that would just make them look even more stupid,
for
I
the
think.
Saquon thing. But
Yeah, but that's their whole philosophy. They don't want to play a running back, right? The big money. It's
but
like
that's why
you can draft a,
that's why you draft the rookie running back, right? But
but he's still getting a pretty decent size. He's a third overall pick.
yeah, well, either way, I'm just saying there's a lot of talent there, so you got to hit on it regardless. I think just looking at some of the other mock drafts, like if Will Campbell's still there at four, I would imagine New England's just going to take him. Like it's too obvious of a pick there. I think
I feel like New
um,
England's taking a
you got to
defensive
take.
guy,
You don't think
the
you got
best
to
defensive
protect?
guy.
You got to protect Drake May. I don't know.
I
I think that'd be
guess.
a good option there. Or you take the best defensive position player available. But like I think Vrabel is a pretty trenches
Vrabel's a
focused
defensive
guy.
guy.
Yeah, I don't need a defensive guy, but I think he also understands you need to protect your quarterback, especially if Drake May is going to be the franchise. So I think if you have a chance to get Will Campbell there, you probably take him. But yeah, but like I said, the rest of the draft is going to be really interesting. Um, it's a really good like tight end draft. I'm hearing right, like tight
Tyler
ends are
Warren.
are pretty valuable. Um, I think there's a decent amount of offensive linemen too in the early round. So we'll
Yeah, they
see.
got Banks. I'm curious to see what the Raiders do because I feel like they're the first team that's potentially going to take Genty. Like I'm just curious to see where he goes. Like I feel like he could definitely fit Vegas.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this like draft is going to play out because it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see some drama and surprises, Matt, in the first round. So it's always more fun, I think, when you don't know who's going where. But Shadur's got to be the wild card because if he doesn't go to, let's say, Cleveland or New York, then where does he go? Like realistically after that, right?
Well, let's see.
Um,
Patriots? No.
Patriots no, Jags
Jags?
no,
No. Raiders?
Raiders
No. They
no,
signed
even the
Jets?
Jets.
No.
I mean, probably no, right? With Justin Fields there. Then you look at
Panthers?
Carolina; they're
No.
not moving up Bryce, and then in maybe the Saints,
Saints? Derek
right? Maybe,
Carr?
yeah. Because then even Chicago's a no. Niners are probably a no. Dallas,
Dallas?
and then he's just
Oh.
gonna keep sliding and sliding and sliding, right? So, um, probably yeah. The Saints, right, with the whole Derek Carr thing, his new injury now or something like with him. So maybe I think if he doesn't go at three, he's gonna slide all the way to nine potentially. Um, so that'll be yeah, it's gonna be an interesting draft, like I said, to see how the rest of this plays out, man. But we'll be tuning in to watch it because it'll be fun. A lot of drama, which is
Yeah.
always fun out of the
I
NFL
will say
draft.
I learned my lesson after we did the live stream when Dallas picked Tyler Smith to never overreact on a first round pick. Do not get too high, do not get too low, because Tyler Smith turned out to be a great pick for this
Yeah, he's a
team.
beast.
And then I got hyped on Tyler Guyton, and he kind of not so well. So yeah, I've learned my lesson. I will be better.
Why don't you just act disappointed either way? Because that seems to be the trend for them to
Ooh,
be
yeah.
doing good.
So if I just think every pick sucks, then they'll all
Yeah.
be right on, Jerry.
Yeah, it's like, oh, T Mac, no, no,
Oh no, Abdul Carter slipped to
oh
us. How did
no,
we get hit? Why did
oh
we draft
no,
Abdul Carter?
oh no, is that Abdul Carter with the Laramie Tunsil mask on? Oh no. Yeah.
Oh no, he doesn't have his number. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. But it'll like I said, it'll be a fun draft and we'll see how it all shakes out, man. But let's kind of get into our final little topic here, our baseball teams. Um, let you start with your Yankees here, Matt. How things have been. Things are not have been better, I'll say, since that little
Uh,
slide.
I guess yeah, better because they did sweep the Royals and then won 3 out of 4 against Tampa. Should have been a sweep there. We did lose today to the Guardians, but down 6-0. Clark Schmidt didn't have it. They made it interesting. They got the tying run to the plate in the ninth inning, but UH Hawaii or University of Hawaii alum Cade Smith said, "Nope, not today." Um, but overall, I mean, I just want to see flashes. You're not gonna win the division in April, so I mean, granted, they are in first place by a game and a half entering Tuesday. Um, but really, the biggest turnoff, and that has to be talked about, is Devin Williams. Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand what it is. Like, maybe the lights are too bright. Um, I don't know what it is, but I think I said this after the first game when he had the first save on opening day where it was very shaky, but he got the save. He got hit hard, but it was against the Brewers, so it was like, oh, maybe it's just that was his old team. They know how to attack him and his weak points. Clearly, that's not the case anymore because teams are seeing his ball really well. Um, and I think I said it'll be interesting to see if he has to develop a third pitch because now it just seems like guys are just sitting on the changeup and waiting for the changeup because he can't throw his fastball for strikes. The fastball command is bad. The velo is just a tick down from what we've normally seen. And when it was bad, it was like 91, 92. So it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to get teed off because his fastball is straight with no movement. But if you're just going to sit on the changeup, you're going to get lit up. So I think now it's like Matt Blake, like, hey, maybe it's time. Can we develop a slider for this guy? Or a cutter? Like just another pitch that breaks in a different direction because right now it's not working. Like the fastball changeup is not working. Guys, teams are seeing it too well. I think so. I think it's now about developing a third pitch and honestly taking him out of the closer role. He has not earned it. He has not earned it at this point. We have a guy that has earned it, and we know that we can trust in Luke Weaver, who's been dynamite this year. And we have guys that are stepping up, like Mark Leiter Jr. Fernando Cruz has been pretty good this year. So he's been getting some save out opportunities for us recently. So can he be the eighth inning guy or the seventh inning guy? Yeah, I think so. He's earned the right. So maybe now it's time, Devin Williams, like, we're not giving up on you, but we can't have you losing these games for us in the ninth inning, especially with a 4-run lead. So you need to be pitching in these lower leverage situations. Maybe when we're up 6 in a blowout game, yeah, maybe you come in, try work on some stuff. Or you come in as a fifth inning guy or a sixth inning guy for now. in the short term until you can prove you fixed whatever is going on right now. But I think it needs to be a development of another pitch, whether it's a slider or a cutter. Because right now the change up fastball combo not working. Um, but really, other than that, I just need Bellinger, Jazz, Volpe. Like, can you guys just wake up the bats? Like, at some point, it's getting like, okay, guys, like, how much? It's like we're getting to a month into the season now. Like, we need to start seeing some progression. And like, Jazz, came out blistering with the torpedo bat. Like, he hit a home run today, but it's just his swing has just been awful. Like it's so loopy. Like I would not teach that to my son playing baseball. Like that's no, you don't do that. Like stay level. But Jazz needs to get his timing down. Volpe is another one. Like he just can't hit fastballs right now. He's getting beat. Maybe shorten that leg kick a little bit to get your foot down. But the guy that Bellinger, my gosh, he's been horrible. Not gonna lie. He had a good first series, and then it's just been straight downhill ever since. Like, I don't know. Like, I was never a fan of Bellinger's swing, even with the
Mm,
Dodgers. Like, the more I watch him, and I saw him on the Dodgers, Dodger family, so on the TV, like he always steps out. Like his front foot is always going out, and it's like guys are gonna attack you and throw you a fastball outside, and you're just like wailing at it. Like it's so like you're just slapping it, and it's like a weak attempt. And guys right now they're throwing, 98 with sink outside, so it's like you can't hit that. I just think he's just getting beat with the fastball. His hips are opening with his foot going open, so it's like there's a lot of holes in his swing, I think. So I don't know what it is, but I feel like he's always been hitting like that. So maybe it's just more of a timing thing right now, but he has not been good. Not been good.
mm,
Defensively, he's been great. Honestly, Gold Glover out there. I mean, he saved the game for us with a diving catch.
yeah.
Um, he's
At
been top
least,
notch.
see, I was gonna say, at least you get at least you get the glove with Cody.
Yeah, but
So,
the thing with Cody is he's protecting Aaron Judge. Like you cannot
mm,
be hitting 170 behind Aaron Judge. Like that does not cut it.
yeah.
Like
Maybe
I
it's time to
need
move Goldie over there. I don't
260.
know.
I don't know. Yeah, Cody's been good,
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah.
well, I don't know.
At
We'll
least Aaron
see.
Judge is a freaking monster, so that always helps. When you have the best hitter in baseball on your team. So
Yep. Hey, and Ben Rice, he got hurt, but
Ben Rice
he's
has
kind
been a
of
nice
entrenched in that
surprise.
leadoff spot right now. So I hope he keeps hitting. So we have a discussion that's like, oh, where's he gonna play?
I was gonna say, yeah, Stanton comes back, right?
Yeah,
That's the
when he comes
question.
back, but that's a good problem to have. That's you want to have that problem. I don't want to be like, oh, Stanton's already in. Ben Rice is slumping. Send him down.
Hmm.
Like, make Aaron Boone make a difficult decision. Make these guys figure out how to get him in the line. Whether it's they rotate between Goldie and Stanton. I say maybe just try to take some ground balls at third base. On an off day, just see how that works out. Like I don't know, like he can catch, right? So I don't know. Maybe if Austin Wells is in a slump, give him some run at catcher. So there's options, but I'm very pleased with Ben Rice right now. He's been probably the biggest bright spot for the Yankees. So hopefully he comes back from his injury. He got hit in the elbow, but he pinch hit today. So I think I would expect him to be back in the lineup at least tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest. So good things with Ben Rice, but I guess we're in first, so it's okay. But yeah, there's just those 3, 4 guys, man, that just gotta get going. Gotta get going.
Well, I feel you on the at least we're first place, Matt, because man, the Dodgers have been like just scraping by. Uh, granted, we somehow have 16 wins, and somehow,
But your
yeah,
team is
by
loaded,
some
so
miracle, we are tied for first with the Padres. But it has been ugly. Like we've won recently, like the Texas series, and we probably could have swept them. Kirby got walked off, which sucked. But I mean, the pitching has really been holding us down because, um, you just kind of read off. We only scored what, one run in the win in the most recent win, then we scored three in the loss, and then three in the win before that. So we've only scored 7 runs over 3 games, and we're 2-1. That's not gonna carry on, right, as a trend throughout the season. So lucky to get out of there with 2 wins and win that series, honestly. Um, but like the team as a whole hasn't been hitting. Like Will Smith is the only guy above 300 right now. Granted, Freddie's 280, Shohei's like the tick under 280, so that's nice. And the surprise of the year so far has been Mr. Tommy Tanks, Tommy Edman. Dude is turned into a power hitter somehow. Somehow he has 7 home runs on the year, which is kind of insane. But I don't expect that to keep up. And then outside of that, like Teo 250, Mookie 243. I'm not expecting that to last throughout the whole year. Like he's too good of a talent to be hitting that poorly. But it's really been the bottom of the lineup, Matt. Like guys just can't get on for Shohei. I mean, he has 23 hits already, which is not bad at this point in the season. But he only has 8 RBIs on 6 home runs. So I mean, you do the math right there, right? How many solo home runs is that? So got the bottom of the lineup just hasn't been able to get on, and I think like it's Conforto, Muncy. If he starts to walk again, okay, I'll feel okay. But like Pajes has 1 or 2 really good games, and then looks really bad after that, and then he makes a play to rob a home run and save his leash gets extended a little bit, but I mean, we got guys in the system realistically that, maybe need to get a look at more time, like Chris Taylor. Maybe the resurrection of Chris Taylor is on the table. I don't know, but something's got to change at the bottom because I'm gonna just read you some of these averages. Uh Conforto 194, Muncie 191, Pajes 159. And there's more guys below that. So it's just not great right now. The offense isn't great. We need to pick up because the pitching is only gonna, be good for so long. Um, so I really do hope that something changes, and then I don't know if it's a Song Kim finally gets his call up, or I mean Outman hasn't really been hitting down there either. So we're just kind of in a tough spot, and hopefully something clicks and we start to get rolling like the Dodgers offense I know we can be, which is I think that's why it's so frustrating because these guys are better than what we're playing like right now, even defensively. So but the bright spot is the pitching, and Roki is gonna have his ups and downs, I think, throughout the year. But thank God for Dustin May, and thank God for probably the leading Cy Young favorite in the NL right now, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, because he this year, Matt, is looking like he's taking that step to become the definitive ace of this team. I think it's pretty evident. You can look at the stats, right? I mean, he is a .93 ERA right now, through 5 games. Like he's only allowed 3 runs through 5 games, so that's pretty good. And he has 38 strikeouts already. Um, like it has been really impressive, I think. And he went toe to toe with Jacob DeGrom and beat him.
yeah.
So shoot, anytime you can go and do that, 10 Ks, and it's just all the pitches right now. He's able to mix them all so well. It's the fastball with the splitter, and then he still can sneak in the curveball and the slider, and you're just guessing. Like you got to think, okay, and kind of to go off of your Devin Williams point, right? Where if Kirby Yates, for example, similar ish to Devin Williams, I think, where their fastball changeup or fastball splitter, but when you're a guy like Yoshi, you have the fastball, and people are worried about the splitter, and then you can throw him a hook, you can throw him the slider to just kind of like throw him off a little bit more. It makes, like you said, those other pitches even better. So, yeah, really just thankful for that. Thankful for this bullpen that, for the most part, has been holding up really well because yeah, the offense has been a no show. The games have been kind of boring, but I'm waiting for Shohei to get his dad strength in because now he's officially a dad, right? Congrats to Shohei. Congrats to Mamiko, like their parents now. So, and I think he's a girl dad. I'm pretty sure they had a little baby girl. So, shout out to him. Hopefully, yeah, he gets that dad strength now.
Well, clearly Devin Williams didn't get it. He went on paternity leave.
Well, maybe you just need some time to adapt to home life. Maybe he's just not getting enough sleep right now. That's the thing.
Oh, because people in New York are not letting him sleep.
Yeah, or that too. um, but yeah, it has been great for the Dodgers offensively, but I'm confident. I think they'll turn it around. Like, too good, too talented. They'll figure something out. Um, yeah, I think that's all I want to touch on. Also, Tyler Glass now, dude, eat a banana or something. Like, you can't be cramping on the mound. Oh, I think he's one of the more frustrating ones. Like, I hate to say
Oh,
it,
Snell,
throw
the
throw.
Rays, the
I mean,
X-Rays, man.
yeah, Snell too. But you know what? We need to take a couple deep breaths. It's only April. Tanner Scott too. Hey, let's figure out why we can't get anyone to swing and miss. You're kind of the designated closer now. Like Trannon's going on the IL. Like things are slowly kind of falling apart. But it's April, so deep breaths. I'm gonna
Yep.
take my deep breaths. We're tied for first somehow. I have no idea how. We're tied for first in the NL West. So I'll take what I can get. But yeah, man, I think I'm good with the Dodgers. I think we're good for baseball. Been a little bit of a longer pod anyway, so why don't we get into some of our quick hitters here?
All right, Jerry Jones Award winner this week. Had a lot of options. I could have went Nico Harrison with some of the stuff he said, but felt that was a little too easy. Um, but I'm gonna go with MLB umpires, man. Specifically, those dudes umpiring on Sunday in Tampa at George Steinbrenner Field, Yankees Rays. What are you guys looking at, man? Like, first off, the whole Max Fried thing, I thought that was bad. Like, how do you change that so late? Like, am I mad about him not getting a no hitter? Not really, but it's just they changed the call so late, and the guy was cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Potential no hitter. I don't think he would have got a no hitter because he was at 102 pitches anyway, but still would have been a good story and would have been a question for Aaron Boone. Do I leave this guy in? Like, do I let him chase history? Because Max Fried, I mean, he you talked about Yoshi. Max Fried might be the AL Cy Young favorite or one of the top two or three guys right now.
Mm-hmm.
If the season ended today, he has been outstanding. I could only imagine if we had a full rotation, healthy, what we would be like because it would be a totally different story with Max Fried as the number two starter. Um, but you know what? That was tough enough. But then you fast forward later in the game, and Aaron Judge hits an absolute nuke into the outfield trees, and somehow they call it a foul ball. Fine. That's why you have instant replay, and you still call it a foul ball. I don't understand. There's all these shots, camera angles everywhere. Everyone's blaming it on the foul pole dimensions, which is fair, but that's why we have instant replay. How is that not a home run? There's been many games in spring training. I'm sure a guy has hit the ball there at some point this year and the year before and the year before that. Like, I just truly, it is a disgrace because of honestly who hit the ball. Aaron Judge, like MLB better change that at bat to a home run because it doesn't matter for the result of the game. I think the Yankees won on Sunday by more than one. So it's fair. Like, what is that going to do? Hurt someone's ERA by a little bit? No big deal. But Aaron Judge is a generational player who has already had a generational season, a home run record breaking season. And he's off to another great start this year. Granted, a much better start than he was last year. I'm just saying, you fast forward down, if he stays healthy, has a good season, he has a chance to break his own record of 62. What if that one home run is a difference maker for something that's historic in baseball that should have been called correctly? Like, where is Rob Manfred? Where is the MLB office? Like, I see all these things in the NBA, the NFL. Like, they can change things for that kind of matter. Like, that needs to be done, I think. Aaron Judge has earned that right. And I'm just going to say this, if that was Shohei, they would have changed it 4 hours, 2 hours after the game. Because we saw it in Tokyo. There was the whole ordeal about, his controversial home run. The fan stuck out his thing, but you know what? They said it's clear. I heard it. There was a whole statement about it. Like, where where is that for Aaron Judge? Like, it's crickets right now in the MLB front office. So I am pleading, just change. It doesn't hurt anybody. It just helps Aaron Judge, and it helps MLB potentially have something historic come September at the end of the regular season. Like, this guy, like, okay, not gonna throw shade, but if it's a guy like Anthony Volpe hitting a home run, like, okay, maybe we don't need to file some paperwork and whatnot. Like, I don't think he's gonna be hitting 60 home runs, like, as much as he has the torpedo bat. Like, I can let that one go maybe. But if it's a guy like Shohei, Aaron Judge, like, talking generational talents with the bat that have a chance to do something historic, like, don't take that away from them, please. Because this one home run could possibly cost him. I'm just saying. So do the right thing and give him a home run. But that's all I got to say. But that was just some terrible umpiring. Aaron Boone got ejected. First one of the year. Many more to come. So
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
we'll see. But that one, I would have done the same thing if I was the manager. It was
Okay.
earned.
Um, well, for my fan tribute, I wanted to give, hopefully, I was hoping the UH baseball team would get it, but they got swept. And not only did they get swept, the last two games, they got
Shout
complete
out.
game shutout tid by two pitchers in a row. So that's not fun. But at least they're second place in the Big West, right? So, meh, I mean, not bad. Um, but my fan tribute for the week, Matt, got a shout out one of the hottest hitters in baseball, not Aaron Judge. I can't even. It's not even the Oakland A's, but the Athletics, because they don't have a city name in front of it. But dude, Tyler Soderstrom, dude, has been on a beast or on a tear, bro. Or how do you? I don't Soderstrom,
Sodenstrom?
Soderstrom.
Yeah.
Dude has been an absolute beast. I thought he was a rookie. I didn't even hear this guy, but he's apparently not a rookie. So shout out to
He
him
played
because
last year.
yeah, shout out to him because he's hitting like 300 with nine tanks already on the year. Um, so man, it's been impressive. I mean, the A's are still kind of the A's. Um, but hey, shout out to him because dude is like potentially the one of the top MVP voters in it's been a month, but you know what I mean? Like it's still impressive, right?
I know he
So
has the home run crown over
he
Judge
has
right
a home
now.
run crown right now, which is very impressive. We'll see if it'll sustain throughout the course of the year, of course, but dude is on fire right now. So shout out to him for that. But yeah, man, that's my kind of boring fans tribute there.
All
Um,
right.
yeah.
Sports fact time. All right, we're recording on April 21st. I'll go back to 1996. In the spirit of the NBA playoffs, we'll go basketball fact. But the Chicago Bulls in 1996, they won an NBA record 72 games, 72 and 8. Now, at the time, that was the all time winning record, best record in regular season history. That was capped off with the NBA title. But that lasted for, I guess, 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. And then the
Yep.
Warriors said, nope, we'll win 73.
But
But
it don't mean a thing
no
without a
title.
ring.
Yep.
So
So what matters more?
yeah,
Second all time in a title or best record in the regular season and no title?
yeah, I think we'll
And a
take the
3-1
title.
series blown. So
Yep,
yeah, I guess the title.
we'll take the title every time.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt. Well, I think we can go ahead and wrap it there. Like I said, hopefully, since we're in the basketball playoffs, I really hope that next week I'm not doing a Lakers recap. Knock on wood. But forgot to bring this up earlier. I'm interested to see how Luca plays and how Luca shit talks the rest of the series because forgot to bring it up,
Oh,
but
the
Ant
and
hit
Red
him.
Skull.
Ant hit him with the spider ant right in his face, and Luca saw it. Granted, that's Ant, right? He gonna do that to anybody, but hey, I don't want to say you poked a bear, but we saw that clip that Devin Booker or that Sun series right against Luca several years ago. Everybody act tough when they're up. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. And you both, I mean, Braun still got it too. So I just forgot to throw that out there, but we'll see. But yeah, like I said, hopefully it's not a season recap. But yeah, we'll be back to talk a lot of basketball. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun week of basketball, and we'll reflect on the draft. And Matt will either freak out or not freak out, based on how the Cowboys draft. So it'll be an interesting pod next week, guys. Uh, yeah, as usual, guys. Thank you, appreciate it, all the support you guys give us. Thank you for listening. Have a good week. Stay safe, and we'll catch you guys next.